This book, A Thousand Splendid Suns by Kaled Husseini. So this is the second time I'm reading. The first time I read the ebook and I saw this with my friend and I was like, you know what, I have to read it. You know, it's one of those books where you have to read again. You have to read. It's so poignant that years after I read it the first time, sometimes I'll just catch myself thinking about it, like, wait, there are actually people living life like this. That's crazy. It's actually set in Afghanistan. And you see the evolution of the socio-political landscape of Afghanistan through this book, and that's why I love reading. Like, you can just learn so much about the people, about their culture, their society, their history from the pages of a book. It said something about the history of our country, this country referring to Afghanistan, one invader after the other. So it's just sad when you think about it, like, you know, from the Mongols, from the Soviets, from the Taliban. Like, Afghanistan has had a turbulent, rough history of people just coming and saying, you're not taking care of yourself well, so we're going to do it for you. But I digress. So this book is so eye-opening. Like, you see the culture. Like, it starts from Herat, a town in Afghanistan, right? This young girl, Mariam, she's born a bastard in quotes, and her life is already difficult. You know, her mother and her are forced to live on the outskirts of town. Her father is a rich man. He lives with his 3 wives and his children, who are very, you know, well brought up in wealth and affluence. But Mariam has none of that. Her father comes once in a while to see her, and she tries, like, she wants to be part of that world, part of that life. She wants to ride in her father's car. She wants to go and see movies in her father's cinema. Her father had cinemas. That was how wealthy he was. While she was in a kolba. I think kolba is the word for hut in Afghanistan. While she was living in a small kolba, a small hut with her mother. And her father was riding around town with his 3 wives and his educated children, while her sisters were in college and university. After her mother died, they shipped her off to get married. But let me not spoil it for people that have not read it, so I'll stop there. You think that's the end of Mariam's life, that all the bad things in life that could happen to her had happened. But no. After Mariam gets married, that's when the real heartbreak starts. It's really, really, really sad. So I don't want to get too much into it, but it just makes you wonder the place of women in society, in history, and even in some cultures. Yes, I understand that cultures are all different, but why is it that across cultures, across continents, across countries, something is consistent, and that's the dehumanization of women? Like, why are women like subhuman, you know, in a lot of cultures? And this is very pronounced in this book. Like, you see the suffering of Mariam, you see the suffering of her co-wife, whom her husband eventually married, tricked into marriage, you know, and then on top of that, he was wife beater, he was surly, he was just terrible to be around, he was not amiable. So it was like being in a prison, but you've been conditioned to be grateful that somebody even thought, you know, to make you his wife, even though the person does not remind you every day, does not fail to remind you every day, oh, you harami. So harami apparently is the word for bastard. You little harami, you can't do anything right, you can't even cook food well, you know, like beating you, slapping you, breaking your teeth. I said I'll not say too much, but just to give you a picture, that's the kind of thing. So yes, now you have an idea of what the story is like. You have to read it yourself to see how it concludes. Does Mariam have a happily ever after? Do things get better for her? Do things get better for women in Afghanistan? Yes, I know you watch the news, you're on social media, so maybe you have an idea of what's happening, but you need to read A Thousand Splendid Suns and find out by yourself. Are the suns splendid over there in Afghanistan, or are people scorching, burning under the heat of that sun? That's another thing. But let's go back to the writing. The writing itself, even if the story was not heartbreaking, thought-provoking, The writing itself, I would say, is a masterclass on writing for other writers. Like, when you're reading, you're like, that's a beautiful sentence. Oh, I wish I was the one that wrote this sentence. That's how good Kaled Husseini is. Like, the writing, like when you open this book, to be honest, there's some stories where it's the story that carries the reader. Like, oh, you open it, you see intrigue on the very first page, and you're like, oh, I have to finish reading this. I have to see what happens next. Kaled Husseini does have this in this story. However, the quality of his writing is still top notch in addition to that. So while yes, the story is going on, it's intriguing, it's making you want to turn over the next page, but the quality of the writing go. Like, it will make you pause and you'll be like, this writing makes sense. It's just beautiful prose. When you're reading beautiful prose and you're like, yes, this is it. So yes, Kaled Husseini's prose is very beautiful, and in some instances it's even poetic. Like, the prose is poetic. There's a profound quote that a lot of women quote, especially when gender wars are happening on X, formerly known as Twitter. A woman would just come from nowhere and just write, a man's accusing finger, okay, sorry, I'm mixing it up, like a compass needle pointing north, a man's accusing finger will always find a woman. You might have heard this quote a couple of times. It's from this book. It is from this book. It's one of the things that Mariam's mother told her before she died, when she was thinking, oh, her father is a god, her father can do no harm, her father loves her mother is the one who hates her. Meanwhile, her mother is the one that is raising her. Her mother is the one that is ostracized for having a harami, a bastard. Her father gets to go on living his life with his 3 wives, with his wealth, with his money, with his cinemas, with his businesses, but from the eyes of a child, her father could do no wrong. She saw him once a week, so it was a big deal for her. But her mother always told her, don't forget this. A man is not like a mother's womb that will shift, stretch to make room for you. These are some of the profound quotes from this book. This is why I say the prose is poetic. These are quotes that years after, people still go back to, and because they're so thought-provoking. Like, a man is not like a mother's womb that will stretch to make room for you. Like, it takes a lot of brain power to think of something like that. Or like a compass needle pointing north, a man's accusing finger will always find a woman. Anyway, so yes, this is an absolutely brilliant book. The writing, beautiful, thought-provoking. If you like stories with depth, if you like stories with history, politics, culture, just social conditions of life, the unfairness. If you want to read about roses and unicorns and good things happening in this world, this is not the book for you. But if you want to read about this is realism, realism that slaps you in the face, like no sugarcoating. Life is not all about roses. Like, it literally takes off your rose-colored glasses and flings them away, and you see the naked underbelly of life. Like, this is the life that people are living right now. This is it. This is the naked, ugly truth of life, especially for women, not just around the world, but specifically for women in Afghanistan at different periods of time, because this story actually captures different eras. Like, you see 1970 this, 1980 this, you see early 2000s of when cell phones, mobile phones start coming, so it's even like a social document, a social cultural document of Afghanistan culture and how everything evolved. The freedoms women enjoyed at a certain time, and we slowly start to see that freedom degenerating until they have nothing at all, until they can't go out even down the street without a male escort, because women are not full human beings. They need someone to legitimize their humanity. So a woman on her own cannot go out. If you go out, they will flog you, beat you, with punishments. Yes. So Kaled Husseini, A Thousand Splendid Suns.